Everyone, it is great to see everybody. I'm going to start this meeting sort of how we're going to start every meeting, first with requests for bill introductions. So are there requests for bill introductions? Nice slow start, okay. The chair does have one. I have 23RS0161. It's an ad concerning education related to the School Equity and Enhancement Act, authorizing the use of current year student enrollment to determine state foundation aid. That is RS0161. Any other bill introductions? All right, very well. Bill introductions is closed. Moving on. Today, I just want to sort of go through introductions, kind of everybody introduce themselves, talk about something interesting, how you got here, why you're here, your district number and all of that, maybe a little brief history about you. So let's jump into that. I'm going to go a little unorthodox here. Usually we start over there and work around the room, but I'm going to go first to sort of set the stage so everybody knows. My name's Adam Thomas, District 26. I get Olathe and Spring Hill. Basically, I am here because there's a lot of experience in this room. My experience is mainly I've fathered 5 children. They're all coming up through the public school system, and so it sort of gives that extra seat at the table for the boots on the ground, dropping kids off, picking them up. I spent a little time last year when duty called as a substitute teacher for about 3 months in the Olathe School District, and so that is sort of my unique background. So, and my goal, my aspirations for this committee, long story short, is just to provide information. If we discover issues or opportunities, then we can discuss legislation. But the main purpose is to get information out there and get us all up to speed and then act accordingly based off what we discover. So with that, Representative Schreiber.
Number 2. So I'm Mark Schreiber, representing the 60th District, which is primarily Emporia, a little town northwest of there called Americus, and a little bit of the rural areas of Lyon County. So why I'm glad to be on this committee is since I do represent Emporia, which also includes Emporia State University, it's Teacher Town, USA. And we're the home of the National Teachers Hall of Fame. We have the only national memorial in the state for fallen educators. So education's always been important. My wife started out as a teacher, then became an accountant, and then went back to teaching and started her own center to teach dyslexic children how to read. So that's me.
Scott Hill, 70th District at Abilene. And my educational experience and the reason I requested this committee was from a consumer point of view. Kind of like Adam, I've had kids in the public school system, and now I have grandchildren coming on, and have a consumer perspective on it. I did serve for 4 years on the State Board of Education, so spent quite a lot of time out there bringing educational issues. Served as the board liaison to the legislature during that time, so it's kind of fun to see it from this side. So,
my name is Silas Miller. Sorry, from District 86 in Wichita, Kansas. The reason I chose Education Committee, I'm an educator myself. I'm in adult education, vocational and technical school, and probably one of the largest issues in my district that I heard when I was campaigning was education-related issues, funding for schools, and opportunities. So I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So my background in education started out teaching vocational education, then did business education, was out in the real world for a while, then went back in and taught special education until I retired a few years back. And so that's kind of my education background. Bill Riley from the 80th. Our school systems are basically Arc City, Wellington, South Haven. So we have a variety. Arc City is toward the top as far as a lot of kids, big school district, Wellington's in the middle, and then, of course, South Haven, very small school, struggling, trying to put it together with other schools as far as sports and everything in order to keep alive. So, variety of schools in my district.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jason Getz, Dodge City, 119th District. Probably my unique part, my son, when he was born, he's 6 years old, but he was diagnosed with Down syndrome. And so some of the special needs, different needs in the school system are a big part of what I'm looking for, and just seeing what we can improve and how to help every student, no matter their needs. And yeah.
I'm Jerry Stogsel. I represent the 21st District in Northeast Johnson County. Represent most of Prairie Village and a little part of Overland Park. And I've had kind of a long history in education. I was a naval officer right out of college, but I came back, got a second degree in education, taught in Shawnee Mission for 7 years. Then I taught in the education department at K-State for a couple of years and came back and was full-time NEA Shawnee Mission president for 3 terms. Got out of education at that point and was president of the Trade Association for all the high-tech industries in Kansas and Missouri for 8 years. But one of the requirements I had them make before they hired me was that they would start an educational foundation sponsored by the high-tech industries. And it was sponsored by the Kauffman Foundation as well. We did some fantastic programs for teachers and so on in that capacity. So been always very much interested in education. This is my 7th year on the committee, along with Mark, and look forward to working with you all this year.
I'm Susan Estes. I represent the 87th District, so one of 21 state reps from Wichita. So my district is very close to the representative on my left, and I hold a degree in elementary education. I have taught 4th grade, junior high bilingual, a little bit of high school bilingual, and elementary school newcomer English. And I want to see all our kids succeed.
My name is Rebecca Schmoy, and I'm from the 59th District, and that is most of Franklin County. I had the privilege of being a paraeducator in a life skills elementary classroom for 5 years, where I met, I tend to say that they are the hardest working individuals I have ever met. They are the best people that we have. Whether you're talking about the students who are present and working harder just to be present with you in that moment, or whether you're talking about the educators that are working with those students to make sure that they are getting as much out of that time as possible. It is across the board. We need outstanding support for our special education, and we need outstanding support for our students. And so that is why I'm here. That is why I am passionate about this committee.
I'm Michael Murphy. I'm 114th District, which is most of Reno County, all of Kingman County, and half of Pratt County. Obviously very rural. All of our schools are very small. Have 4 kids and 14 grandkids, and only 3 of them are outside the state. And my interest is these rural areas are very, especially in my part of the world, are tend to be very poor, and very difficult for them to get anything going in life, and to try to give them something solid that they can stay and keep the rural areas vital and important in Kansas, because we need people there, because if it all dries up, then we don't have food.
I'm Linda Featherstone. I represent the 16th District in Overland Park. So that's the mall to the community college to the KU Edwards campus. I think I'm still the only Johnson County legislator that gets to represent the big 3, Shawnee Mission, Olathe, and Blue Valley. I have a degree in music education. I'm a piano teacher in my real life, which I do continue to do through the session. And I am the proud mom of a grade school music teacher.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Dr. Kirk Haskins. I'm representing the District 53 here in Topeka, Kansas, in which it's the home of several schools, but most significantly Washburn Institute of Technology. I have my doctorate in higher ed administration. I have about 25 years in education across the state. I've been a substitute teacher while I was finishing my doctorate in dissertation on Washburn Tech. So I've taught from pre-K all the way to grade 20, where I'm currently the associate professor at Baker University and chair of the graduate studies there. My father was in education for 38 years, and education is in the blood, even though I've torn tickets at a movie theater going through college, and I've managed banks. I have a wide world of experience, plus I worked at the Kansas State Department of Ed for 5 years, overseeing business education for the state. 3 kids, and my Andrea is a school psychologist in Emporia, so that's where I am.
Thank you. I'm Dave Younger, represent District 124, Southwest Kansas. I just retired June 30th. I was a public school teacher, administrator for 36 years. I started out in the Wichita School District for 10 years. I was in Halstead, a 3A school district, for 15 years. In the last 11 years, I've served as superintendent in Ulysses, Kansas. So I feel like I have something to give to this committee.
I'm Clark Sanders. I'm from District 69. That's completely in Saline County. With the redistricting, my district changed somewhat. It's now more rural and less urban than it was prior. So before, I just had USD 305, Salina South and Salina Central, but now I've picked up Gypsum, where southeast of Saline is. I've also got Brookville, where El Saline is, 307. I think I'm probably a little bit unique in that my wife and I sent our 3 children to parochial school, K through 12. That was Sacred Heart. So I have the private school perspective. And I think the reason that I'm on this committee is to keep the chairman in line and on task. Now, that being said, I will also tell, especially the new members of the committee, that Adam is always welcome and open to phone calls. He's been the vice chair of this committee for the last 4 years, the last 2 years, and any time that I had something that I wanted to talk about, he was always open to taking my phone calls, and we've had a lot of good conversations. So don't hesitate to call him, and if he gets out of line, let me know.
Thank you for that, Representative. I'm not sure how to respond to that, so I'll just pretend I didn't hear it. I believe we have 2 or 3 on WebEx I would love to hear from. Representative Samantha Potter Partial, are you online?
I am.
Floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Chair. My name is Samantha Potter Partial. I represent in District 6, which is the majority of Miami County, which is just south of Johnson County. The chairman actually has a little sliver of Miami County himself. Let's see. I have a second grader, which is actually why I'm not there today. He is homesick. And then a 10-month-old and another one on the way. So, and he attends public school, so that's a big thing for me there. And then I also have the unique perspective of attending Catholic school, private school, and public school myself. So I'm able to look at it from each perspective there, and I'm looking forward to serving on education. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Representative Donahoe? Is he on? Okay, what about Luis Ruiz? Representative Ruiz, is he online? I was going to pay him a big compliment, but I suppose I'll wait till the next committee meeting for that one. Mr. Willis, you want to go ahead?
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Matt Willis. I'm with Legislative Research. This is my 4th session, and my policy areas outside of both K-12 and higher education include local government and commerce.
Good afternoon, Melissa Renick. I'm the Assistant Director for Research with KLRD, and this is my first year on an education committee proper. This is my 21st legislative session, and I primarily staff financial institutions, pensions, and insurance topics.
Hi, I'm Deborah. I'm your committee assistant, and this is my 7th year on this particular committee, of which I'm very fond. Very complex issues, but I believe really make a difference to actual children and families and schools and teachers. So my job is to help you communicate and understand what's happening just technically. So please reach out to me anytime if you have just don't know what's happening or you didn't get some piece of legislation or something. And we are both over here at 286, and just come in anytime and introduce yourself, or I can come to your office and help us all navigate this beautiful river.
My name is Jason Long, Senior Assistant Revisor with the Office of Revisor Statutes. This is my 17th legislative session. I have staffed education in some form or fashion since 2011. And my other areas, if you're interested, I do staff in state affairs and local government elections, as well as this committee.
My name is Alicia Ortega, and I'm with broadcasting. Yeah.
You're a person of few words. We appreciate that in this committee. Tis not the business we're in. Well, thank you for that. I do want to sort of make one quick announcement. I know there's several of you that I've met with privately, but I'd like to schedule a time kind of with anybody I haven't met with and just take 10 to 15 minutes, just kind of a get to know you time or ideas you have or potential pieces of legislation or items you'd like to have a hearing on. I want this to be a wide open discussion these next 2 years, and I want to get a lot of information out there so that way people can have a better understanding of not only education, but just kind of our processes and what we do. So that being said, I also want to make sure if there are ideas out there or bills you want to hear, just come see me. I mean, I'm happy to hear you out. I know Jerry and I have already discussed one or two for sure. I'm sorry, Representative Stogsdill. Appreciate it. I want to make sure everybody got a copy of the rules that are right there in front of you. If you have any questions on those, certainly let me know. You didn't see them? I believe we sent them out to everybody. They should be on your desk right there. Yeah, we can send them out again if you'd like, for sure. Also, I believe you received or should be receiving a copy of a breakdown of the ESSER funds in your email. We did send that out, so that will be our first hearing on Thursday. It'll be informational, so we'll get to know the ESSER funds, kind of a breakdown of where they went, the federal guidelines, which districts got what. But we wanted to make sure you all had the information ahead of time to kind of do your homework and prepare maybe some questions, because I know a lot of times in this process, information gets to you last minute. So my goal certainly as chair is to make sure everybody has information before we present it so there's no surprises there. So any questions or concerns for right now? Well, that was easy. All right. Well, if before you leave, if you wouldn't mind, come chat with me and let's set up a time where we can meet if we haven't already. And with that, I will ask one more time if there are any requests for bill introductions. All right, anything good for the good of the committee before we take off? Okay, very well. With that, we will see you Thursday at 1:30, and with that, we are adjourned.